how to get a 10x return on ad spend or higher using the profit triangle. If you have been running advertisements and the performance of your ads is just not where you want it to be, and you're starting to get frustrated because you hope that the ads would perform better, or you have been trying to get your ads to perform better, but everything you're doing is just not working, then in this video, I'm gonna talk to you about a simple concept called the profit triangle, which will allow you to have an almost immediate effect on your return on ad spend. Okay, so the first thing I want to describe to you is what the profit triangle really is at its core. So the foundation of any great advertisement has three different elements. The first element is your audience. You need to know who you're trying to speak to, okay? The second element is your offer. Once you know who you're trying to speak to, you need to be able to give them something that they want. The third thing is the message. The message is how you communicate to that audience. Now, the mistake that most people make is that they do not have all three of these foundational parts of an advertisement dialed in. You might have one of them dialed in or two of them dialed in, but having all three is usually pretty rare. Now, just a quick note on that. If you have one of these three things dialed in, odds are your ads are probably not working at all. Okay, but if you have, let's say, your audience dialed in and your offer dialed in, you can have good performing ads, but they might not be great. They might not be 10x return on ad spend level ads. So if you are to now dial in your messaging, which is that third element, that will help you communicate with your audience in a more effective way so that they're more likely to take your offer, whether it's a lead magnet, a purchase, an application, whatever it is. Now, I can go really deep on each of these three elements, but I want to give you a high-level overview. That way you have something to think about and something to do immediately without having to stress over analysis paralysis. So here are the three main points that you have to keep in mind and what the importance of each is. So when it comes to your audience, okay, you want to look for a group of people that are starving for solutions, okay? At the end of the day, your business, whether it's a product or a service, is the solution to someone else's problem, okay? So you want to make sure that the solution that you're offering is being put in front of an audience that is starving for that solution, okay? The reason why that's important is because the timing of your advertisement is really, really important. If you give something to someone, let me use an example. Imagine you are at a dentist, you have a toothache, okay? And the toothache's not that bad. So what do? You just take an Advil and you go about your day, right? The timing that audience is not starving for a really big solution. An Advil will do. But if you have a throbbing toothache, right, the timing is different. And if that toothache is so bad that you can't get through your day, that you as an individual will be starving for a more immediate solution, a more drastic solution. Maybe you'll have to go see the dentist immediately for an emergency checkup, okay? So you want to look for an audience that's starving for a solution. And the more desperation, the more desire they have to get that solution, the easier it will be for you to sell your product or service. The second thing is your offer, right? Now you know your audience, you have to give them an offer that will satisfy their want or need, all right? Now, I wrote here solves a painful problem. We kind of just talked about the importance of pain, right? The higher the pain, the more immediate, right? The more of a reason somebody has to take you up on your offer. So you want to make sure that your offer is positioned to help your audience solve a painful problem. And the final thing is your message. And the note that I wrote here is, in quotes, "Oh, that's me." When they read your advertisement, when they visit your landing page, when they visit your product page, when they visit your sales page, the words that they read or the video that they listen to and watch, whatever type of media that they're consuming, you want them to read, listen, or engage and say to themselves, "Wow, that's me." You want them you want them to feel like you really get them, okay? All right, so the final thing I want to talk about are some useful tips to keep along in this process. So number one is specificity matters. And specificity, right, I'm going to open this up a little bit so you can see everything. Specificity matters not just in terms of one or two or three or two of those core concepts, specificity matters when it comes to your audience, your offer, and your message. Okay, the first two things that I highly recommend that you do and get right first are your audience and your offer. All right, when you have a very general audience, the power, the potency of your advertisements is going to be weak. All right, but when you're specific, when you can call somebody out, right, and again, specificity, call someone out, meaning, you can tell them that when they read your ad or they listen to your ad, they say, oh, that's me. Like, I really need that, right? You're being specific. The same thing with your offer. A specific offer will always outperform a general offer, okay? A specific offer will always outperform a general offer, all right? And then the last thing is specificity with your message. The more clear, the more detailed you can get with speaking with your audience, the more they'll feel like you're actually talking to them, okay? Number two, these are not really related to the triangle itself, but this is really for you to help plan your expectations a little bit better. The money comes from the follow-up. The first time somebody sees your ad, okay, they may ignore it. They may take it right away, but odds are the majority will not click your ad. The majority will not buy your offer. The majority will not opt into your lead magnet, okay? Or they might not purchase right away. So you have to make sure that you understand that the money comes from the follow-up. And the last thing is, big profits always come from the back end, all right? If you're selling something and the first thing you sell is an easy sell just to get them into your ecosystem, you're running advertisements, your total, what you spent to acquire that customer and how much you make in revenue may cancel out. Maybe you make a little bit of money, okay? But the big profits that you're going to make are going to come from selling things, more products, more services on the back end. And if you understand those things going into your pursuit of running highly profitable ads, you'll be in a much better position from a mental standpoint to mental and strategic standpoint to position yourself and to create a funnel that allows you to succeed. So that is my presentation on the profit triangle. Hopefully you take this and it starts to make sense. You can look back into your own company and have, or your own funnel, your own advertising efforts, and start to see how these three concepts or these three elements are playing a role in a positive or negative way. And if it's positive, great, keep doing it. And if it's negative, now you know, or now you have awareness of what to work on so that you can improve the return on ad spend of your advertising. Thanks for watching the video. If you're still watching, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Talk soon.